Okay.
Connie.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi. Thank you so much
Um,
for offering and inviting this opportunity. This is my first video testimonial with a client who I
oh,
did a QHHT session with. Um, so
thank you.
let's get into it. I want to introduce
Okay.
myself for anybody watching.
Okay.
My name is Sarah Mount. I'm a quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner level 2, currently serving in Las Vegas and Henderson, Nevada. The story you're going to hear today from myself and Connie actually occurred in Asheville, North Carolina. I just got back from joining my soul family for a 5-day retreat in Asheville, and we had a wonderful time. And part of that experience was having the pleasure of sitting with Connie, who you're going to meet and hear a little bit about that journey that she went on. So, yeah, Connie, you want to introduce yourself?
Okay. Ready? We
Ready.
ready now? Okay. I'm Connie. I live in Silva, North Carolina and Florida. Um, I went to the convention in Asheville and it was incredible. All I can say is that I'm changed again forever. It happens. It just happens whenever you're walking the path and listening. So I'm excited to be here and thank you for the opportunity, Sarah, to grow
Love you.
my soul even more.
I love you.
Yeah,
So let's
thank
talk
you.
about how we met, right? So
Sure,
ahead of the
sure.
retreat,
Yep,
the folks running the retreat created a Facebook group for anybody who's interested or planning to go. So
right.
that space started to fill up after they announced that it
Yep.
was open. So in that space, I posted a little video. I filmed a video, and I just said that I was so excited to be with my soul family again, and that while I was there, I had the intention of participating fully. But I really did want to sit with the folks that were really aligned and ready to have a session. I wanted to make myself available to that. And so I posted
Yeah.
that video in the group and then over to you,
And
Connie.
voila.
Yeah. So when you saw that video, what happened?
The thing is, I knew that QHHT was coming to Asheville. I saw that right after they booked in October after the storm, because we all went through the storm, and I thought, wait, how can this be? And so, I'd followed the memes, followed Dolores's memes and the QHHT meme, and then you kept popping up. I was in Florida at that point. You kept popping up, and I go, yeah, 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 and scroll by, and you kept popping up, and I connected. And I went, oh my goodness. And I listened to what you have to say. And it was like, okay, I think this is the next step. And
Mm,
I contacted you, you got right back to me, and I got so excited. And then, of course, because I'm not real techy, I got a little confused at some point. And it's like, okay, are we going to have a session or not? And you said, yeah, I choose you. I choose you. And so, I was delighted with that. I had looked for other practitioners in the area, and when I was in Florida, I put in several calls like 9 months ago. Nothing, nothing. So that tells me the universe knows what they're doing and that I was supposed to connect with you, and I'm so delighted that I did.
me too.
And
Me too.
and that you chose me.
Yeah. Well, you said some things that led me to choose you. On my practitioner journey, it has been the truth for me that from the start, I have just trusted in a deep way that the aligned sessions, the clients who are ready are going to make their way to me. They're already on their way. And so
Yes,
when you posted a comment on that video and let me know that you were interested in the session, the things that you said that were my keywords that lit my heart up were that you had been looking for a practitioner and that you connected with me. It wasn't just, I'm trying to get a session in, maybe
right.
take advantage of an opportunity. And that touches me and makes me so ready to serve. And so I was so excited to meet you in Asheville. So on the day that we were checking in, we
Yeah,
wasted no time running into each other, actually.
there we were.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. We still had a couple more
Yeah,
days before our session. So that was on a
yes.
Thursday. We were
Yep,
going to do our session on a Sunday. So we got to kind of move around each other in those spaces, give each other
right.
hugs, which felt
It
really
was
great
perfect.
to connect.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, and unique outside of my typical unfolding. Usually, a client contacts me, we go back and forth over email a little bit. I share some resources to help them prepare, and then I don't
Sure.
meet them in person until the day of their session. So this was a gift, getting to spend time.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was a gift for sure.
yeah,
Because I couldn't believe you were right in front of me. I went, wait a minute, that's Sarah. the lady that I
That's
was
me.
talking to. It's amazing. Yeah.
All right. So on the day of the session, fast
Okay.
forwarding from our meeting to Sunday
Okay.
morning, I've come to kind of put together a little morning ritual that I use to center myself and get grounded in purpose and service. And so I did that. Even though I was in a hotel in Asheville, I drew
Yeah.
myself a bath, Epsom salt. And when I
Sure.
do that, I usually listen to Dolores Cannon actually speak it, the induction script. It really
Yeah.
helps me to remember my pacing and remember why I'm doing what I'm doing and really connect in with my heart. And so I did that. And then I walked from my hotel to your hotel for the session. I sat outside actually for a few minutes underneath a tree in the grass with my shoes off. I could feel what I was moving into with you. You were so ready. And so I knew it was going to be a profound experience. So I
Yeah.
made my way up to
It-
your room and we got started. So,
yeah.
as a typical session does, it starts with a conversation. So,
Yeah.
I would love it
Yes.
if you would share what you're willing to share about that experience of having a conversation with me, pretty much a perfect stranger, telling
Yeah.
me, some important stories from your life. What was that like?
Well, perfect stranger in the physical,
Mm,
but in my heart, and when I look into the windows of your soul, I knew you. I have chills right now because I know you somehow, somewhere, and it was wonderful. So we just started talking about, my background, where I've been, what I've done, and I've been on this path for 60 decades, and I'm older than 60 decades. So it's like metaphysical path and spiritual path and holistic healing because I was in massage therapy for 40 years and taught many modalities, traveled a lot, went to Egypt and India several times, just fine, looking for pieces to my puzzle, growing my soul. And then I think, after that part, we went into some of my childhood experiences that oh, I got a kitty that could
he
pop up
wants to
any
be a
minute.
part of this. He's
Oh,
been,
he's funny. He's adorable.
yeah.
So, yeah. So I have a black kitty. He might
Oh,
just say hello.
this is
But anyway,
Charlie.
it was wonderful. Yeah, because really I don't have a loss for words, and being my nature is to share, and I am empathetic, and so I didn't have a problem sharing with you about my past, some issues that I had. As you can see, I'm wearing a necklace
Uh,
because I
we're
had
going to get to that. That's one of my favorite
yeah.
parts of the story. Yeah.
So it just opened perfectly. I didn't have any expectations, so there are no disappointments.
Yeah.
And I felt ready, really ready.
You were so
So
ready. Yeah.
back to you, Sarah.
Yeah. So yeah, we sat and talked for a couple of hours.
We
And
did. I
as
couldn't, I, yeah, I couldn't believe it was 2 hours. It went,
yeah,
you're in a whole different energy field.
yeah.
Yeah,
We were in our
yeah,
bubble for sure. And
absolutely, absolutely.
so
Yeah,
when we got done talking, I asked you if you had watched the preparation video that I sent over from my colleague
yes,
Suzanne Spooner. Like I said, consider her to be the GOAT, and she has this really great video called Four Great Tips
yeah,
for Having a Great QHHT Session. We went over those
right.
four great tips. Then you and I
We
both took a
did.
bathroom break,
Yep,
and then we settled in for the journey. You took a spot on the bed. I took a spot on a chair next to the bed. I got
right.
you mic'd up, and we both took a couple of seconds to center ourselves
Hmm.
and get ready to
Yeah,
take a journey.
I, I dropped it quick.
Yeah, you did. So,
Yeah.
I told you a little story, and I encourage you to go along with that story. And what happened as you dropped in? I'd love to hear whatever you're willing to share.
What happened when I first dropped into the experience, I could just feel very expanded. Physically, I felt my body very expanded and very large. And I know about the time and space thing that happens. So it felt comfortable to me. I felt safe, 100% safe. Um, I don't know. I was being prompted by your questions. I couldn't hear anything on the outside. Like any outside noises were totally gone.
Cool.
I know, it was very cool. It was very cool. And then you got close and whispered in my ear, and you know, I it, can I just tell you, Sarah, there were so many levels I feel to my experience. It is very hard to pull them in linear,
Yeah.
and give you a linear answer
Yeah, that
because
makes
it seemed like I was just really laterally just moving backward and forward. So,
If I could speak to that from my position, as you were having
yes.
this multi-layered, multi-dimensional experience, what I was
Right.
experiencing as the practitioner, guiding you just with questions like, what's happening now? Um,
Right.
what do you
Yeah.
see? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
When we got to places where it was evident that you were having a positive physical experience, like it felt good in the
Yes.
body, things
Yes.
like, let's linger here for as long as you want. And
Oh, yeah.
it's all for you. Like, enjoy it.
It was
So those
wonderful.
were the promptings that I was offering as a support to
Right.
you on your journey.
Right.
And I don't know if this language resonates for you as I say it, but you had a very multidimensional, like parallel lives. We went a little bit.
Yes.
We went a little bit into the past. We time traveled all around the world and outside of this world.
Yes, we did. And in the world, we
Yeah,
went in.
we
I
went
mean,
so in.
so when I listened to it, I thought, can I even tell people how I experienced it? Mary listened to it for about 15 minutes and she said, "Oh, I couldn't do anymore." She was starting to like expand out and I said, "Did I sound crazy?" And she goes, "No, no, 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 no. No, not crazy." She said, "It's just you and I know you."
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, wow.
So some of the scenes that you visited,
Hmm.
there was one primary scene. Do you remember? And can you describe that scene?
I had in my mind, I had
Yeah,
several primary scenes. Are we talking about the rock scene
the rock
and
scene.
the different? Yeah, it's like I saw myself in a beautiful garden with waterfall and insects that were just beautiful and colorful. And I felt the air, I could smell the rain, and I was laying on a big rock, hanging over long hair, but my skin was different. You asked me, "How do you look?" And I could see long dark hair and my skin was like shiny, like iridescent, like how oil when you drop water and oil together in the sun. So,
Great
yeah.
description. Yeah,
And I was naked. So
yeah.
that was okay too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but then I think I came to find out that perhaps that wasn't a rock. I
Hmm.
loved it. I felt it. I connected with it. But I think it was an off-world vehicle of
Yeah.
some sort. Yeah.
That was what was revealed.
Yes.
But you often returned to this place. It was a place of
Yeah.
peace for you, solace,
Peace and
certainly
rest.
beauty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Rest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I knew it.
Yeah,
That's the other part of me. I knew this place. In my experience with you, I knew where I was and I felt it all.
beautiful. Yeah. You were far,
But
far away from a hotel room in Asheville.
yeah, far, 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 far away.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Beautiful. Any other highlights that you would love to share in this setting, just so people can have a little more taste of your experience? Totally okay if
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, highlights for me is that I've had hand and neck issues, causing the hands not to work properly, a few surgeries, and all my career with massage therapy and everything else I've done, I'd never had a hand issue. It's funny, after I meet Dolores Cannon and she meets me 2 years ago, I've been on this path forever. I never knew her. And then it's like, boom. Then my issues started coming up.
Yeah,
So it was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I knew something was going on. I couldn't figure it out.
yeah,
So when I started listening to Dolores and then I met you, I felt it like it was time
yeah.
to figure
Coming
out
up
what's
to the
going
surface.
on.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So it was a this lifetime experience
Hmm.
that obviously I soaked in the emotion from that. And it's amazing after all these years that it surfaces at this time.
Yeah, you're
But
so
the beauty is, I couldn't wear necklaces because of the situation, and now I can, and my hands are better. I mean, they're better because I believe they would be healed,
yeah,
letting it go. So it,
yeah.
it happened. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for that sharing.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
I'm gonna frame that up for the folks who are listening. Um,
Sure.
so after we kind of do the time traveling in the first part of a
Hmm.
QHHT session, it is often the case. that comes to a natural close, or you're moved through a series of questions
Right.
that help that experience or support that experience to unfold. But then at some point, we put you back in your body and we invite your subconscious to come forward,
Right.
and invite your subconscious, or out of respect and reverence, we humbly ask your subconscious to answer some
Yes.
questions for you that you have already decided that you wanted answers. So
R-
we went over that in your interview. You had a short list of questions, some related to this life, as far as like relationships and patterns,
Right.
others related to your health. And so, as you know, I guide your journey, and we get to this part where I call out your subconscious. Marilyn Dyke actually created this beautiful short list of questions she calls the recipe for the SC, to support me as your guide in asking the right questions of your subconscious so that you have a really great audio recording to listen to after. Any healing that's not complete during the session will be more complete each time you listen back to that recording. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
you speak to the healing in your hands and in your on your neck. It was profound, Connie.
It
Uh,
is.
you responded to the questions that I was asking with such fervor, such readiness, such insight and expanded awareness about where these things in your body had come from, what their origin was,
Mm-hmm.
why they were manifesting in your body as they were manifesting in your body, and gave yourself very specific instructions on, all right, if you want this healed, this is what you need to do.
Right.
And anytime you experience a recurrence of these things that are happening in your body, like, remember these things and do these things. Like,
Right.
all of that came from you. And
Yeah. Don't forget to remember.
yeah, isn't it so cool?
Yeah.
Um, so we got through all of your questions and all of your health questions. We did full healing of those experiences. Just
Yes.
for context, like, we were at this retreat in Asheville, North Carolina, and part of the retreat experience was wearing a lanyard with your name tag on.
Yes, that's right.
And
That's right. And it was like a weight around my neck, like a heavy chain. I thought,
yeah,
oh
you
no,
had
I
for
have
the
to wear
first few
this.
days of the
Yeah.
retreat had this like yoke around your neck in the form of
Yeah.
this lanyard. And I thought when we finished your session, I thought, I can't wait to see when she shows up to the ecstatic dance tonight, where that lanyard is. And
Yeah.
you know where it was? Right
Yeah.
around
Around
your
my neck.
neck.
That's right. And it was like light, like air. It was
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah. It's amazing to me. It's amazing.
yeah.
There's a lot of takeaways that I got. Every time I listen, the story rewrites itself on some level for me
Isn't
to
that
go,
so cool?
oh, oh. So, I mean, the whole thing about north, about
Mhm.
the word north and
Yeah,
what's at the north, but I didn't want to go to the north
yeah.
because it was responsibility. But
Mm,
I understand the north now. It's like jump and fly
yeah,
and don't look back, just keep going. And I looked up, what north means in Jungian psychology,
yeah.
and it means finding your compass.
Mm,
It's taking you where you need to go in life and trusting the process. I was just like, oh my God. Because it comes out north and you go, what about the north? It's like, I don't know. Oh, I don't want to go there. So it's
it
like this
is the
battle.
discovery aspect of the
Yes.
QHHT session that blows my mind.
Blows my mind. It still blows your mind?
Yeah. I hope it never stops blowing my mind, and I don't think that
Yeah,
it
I
will.
know. Yeah, things blow my mind every day, and I love it. I
Yeah,
love it because it's so much adventure on the journey.
so much, so much. If you're
Yes.
open to it, and if you
Yeah,
surrender
absolutely.
and believe yourself worthy, like, watch out.
Next step, I know, because this week was intense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So let's
yeah.
move into that, right? So on the day of your
Okay.
session, when I comed you out, we usually spend a couple of minutes together. I want to know, kind of, one, how long you thought you were out, and
Right.
every time the report is significantly less from the client than what it actually was. And
Yes.
so then we sit together for a little bit. I want to make sure you're back here in this time in this place, fully in your body, present. And I want to know what you remember. And you remembered almost everything. And most clients do these days when they have a session. It's very common to have awareness of what happened.
Yeah.
It used to
Hmm.
be, and Suzanne speaks to this in her video, it used to be that it was a completely amnesic experience. People would go to a very somnambulistic state, the deepest state
Hmm.
of trance. And when they would emerge and they were counted out, they wouldn't have any recollection of what happened. But more and more, because of the raising of consciousness on the planet,
Right.
um,
Vibrations
clients
are very high,
very high. And
very high.
so the experience of being counted out and remembering everything right away is the most common experience. And that was yours.
Mhm.
So then after we chatted for a bit, I was on my way and I told you
Yeah.
I would be in contact with you via email. I would send you the recording as
Hmm.
well as a little brief guide to integration.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, so I went back to my hotel room and that was it. I sent you that stuff via email, the recording by
Hmm.
Google Link, and the integration guide. And then, I just said like the rest of the journey is yours to
It's
walk.
yours. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was incredible. Not being a practitioner and having been on many, many soul journeys and workshops, I I just thought, well, let me go experience this and see if and it all came together. It all came together. Even the symbols, even the flower of life, that whole thing I
Oh
told you
man.
about.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, with
And I
whoo,
see it behind you there in your
when I
space.
walked in the aesthetic dance and I saw, the colors and
It's
I
all
saw
for
the
you.
flower of life and went, oh, 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 oh. And that came after I found Dolores, or she found me also.
Yeah.
That experience, where the hologram was in my room, it was there. So
This experience had been calling you in for a while.
absolutely. And I always thought if I'm not on the path I should be on, the physical body will hurt because it gets a message to you.
Mm,
And
mm,
I've never really had a lot of pain in my life physically.
yeah.
So, so,
It was
so
all
it's
coming
been,
up to be cleared. I hope
yeah,
that feels like
yeah,
resonant for you.
absolutely. It's been screaming since we got back from Germany, 3 years. I've been,
Mm,
at different things, and I'm going, what is going on with me?
yeah.
And then I discovered Dolores, and she discovers me 2 years ago, and it all starts to unravel. And I'm
Isn't
very
it so
grateful.
beautiful? And so, in
Whew.
my experience,
Yeah.
so incredibly orchestrated that you cannot deny the divinity of it.
No, you
And
can't.
that has blown my mind in my own unfolding since Dolores came into my life.
Right.
Not to take away from your story, but just to kind
No,
of anchor in
because
that
I don't really know
experience.
your story. One
Yeah,
day I'd like to hear it, but
yeah,
I really don't. So I
yeah,
just trust the whole process.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
I'm so grateful to know you, Connie. I'm so grateful that we walked this journey, this part of your path and my path together. You were my number
Right.
28 session on this beautiful journey of unfolding that is the QHHT practitioner journey. And yeah, I chose you because you are you, because I know you, and we were meant to have this experience together. And I'm really grateful for
For
that.
sure. For sure.
Yeah,
And I want to continue with sessions
yeah,
for my own healing.
yes,
So I need to be connected to somebody in the area.
yeah.
And I'm sure you'll help me with
I
that
might be
too.
going on tour soon, so
Yeah, good. Come on.
yeah, yeah.
That would be great.
But that's a really great point. I'm glad that you brought it up. So Dolores used to say that QHHT is such a profound experience
Mm-hmm.
and so complete that it is not uncommon that one session is sufficient, that you get everything that you need from one session. Still others, maybe based on their readiness or their level of consciousness at the time that they have their first session,
Okay.
or maybe how their journey is unfolding. Perhaps they arrive at a point, maybe a year or more out from their session where they're getting ready, their life is getting ready to go in a different direction, or they have new questions. They'll reach out again and have a session. I do
Hmm.
advise that, like within a year, maybe suggest that the integration from the first session hasn't had enough
Okay.
time
Well,
to
thank you.
anchor in, and
Yes, yes, for
your role
sure.
in that integration is to make yourself available to listening to the recording. And
You're
then
right.
maybe more importantly than that actually is the willingness to open to what comes up as you listen to that. Because it's one thing to listen and another thing to allow yourself to be affected by what you're listening to.
Yeah.
And,
It's
yeah,
one thing to listen and another thing to actually hear.
yes, ma'am. So thank you for all of that. I want to invite you at this little final point to speak to the audience, the folks who have listened to your story now and watched us go back and forth. um, who might be considering having their own QHHT session as a result of hearing our conversation and feeling our energy, what would you want them to know?
I would say whoever's watching this, perhaps that's a clue, that's a hint that
Yeah.
maybe you want to reach out and have a session and connect and just listen to Dolores Cannon's her little, I guess you call them memes, her little videos on YouTube. It's everything that woman has ever said, everything I resonate with. And then I thought, oh my goodness, how could I not know her? So I would say if you're out there in whatever land you're in and you are hearing this testimonial, definitely, definitely quiet yourself,
Mm.
take some deep breaths, drop into your heart, and ask your high self to give you the go ahead. And the right person will come to you
Mm.
because I had looked for a year and a half and you came to me. You literally came to North Carolina.
Thanks for doing your part in that and inviting it. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say just for people to trust their own knowing, turn off your TV and trust your knowing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's so lovely to be
Wow.
with you. Thank
Yeah,
you
it's
for
great to
joining
be
me.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're
can I
welcome.
share the
You
news
could
that
share
I'm well
everything.
aware of? That
Absolutely.
you are now starting on your own QHHT practitioner journey.
Yes, 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 you can share that. I am starting on that journey. I have not actually plugged in 100% every day. My companion and I talk about it, and she goes, have you done it? Have you done it? I go, no, but I am, but I am. So it's like, yes,
It'll
I
all
am.
unfold as it's supposed to.
Yeah,
You know that.
right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I keep going, what's the holdup? Well,
It's their way
and
of
then,
waiting.
yeah, then your low back hurts and your sciatic stings, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I got it.
All right, all right.
Got it. I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I've already seen things, because I see. I've
Yeah,
already had some future seeing.
yeah,
So,
you-
yeah. I mean, that's not from ego. That's just like, the multidimensional Connie,
yes, ma'am. Who is
cosmic Connie.
magnificent, by the way. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah,
It's a reflection of you.
ah, yeah. We
And
are
we
magnificent.
found each other. We found each other after all these
I
eons.
know.
I
I'm
know.
so impressed with us.
Yeah, me too.
All right, Connie, we'll end it
Well,
here. Thank you again.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I love
And
you.
are you gonna edit this so it sounds
It sounds perfect. I'm not
okay?
going to touch it at all. All right, bye-bye. I'm not going
Thank
to end the
you.
call, but I'm going to end this part.
Okay.